Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I am back in another video, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the expansion of Studio Series into not only the movies on the silver screen, which includes the 1986 movie, but also into the world of video games. They are actually expanding Studio Series with some brand new figures that anybody who is a fan of the War and Fall for Cybertron video games will be very excited about. So, of course, I've got a lot to talk about, so sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch on my spring store today. So as I said, the Studio Series line is expanding into the world of video games, with the War for Cybertron video game being the first step in that direction. And to some people, I wonder how they're going to take it, because you have a lot of folks who are very angry that the 1986 movie was getting figures specifically designed for them because it was tainting their Studio Series line. And now we're seeing them expand it with the world of the video game stuff. To me, I think it's great because it means that more figures are on the shelves. It means that they're expanding the line so that it can keeps on going on. The idea is that instead of just throwing out all of the figures that you can for each movie, let's see what we can do for some figures that we don't necessarily know where they're going to go and put them into a collection of figures in a way that works for everybody. And I'm here for it. I may not necessarily collect every single figure out of these lines, but hey, these look pretty cool, if you were to ask me. We're going to be getting a Voyager class figure out of Optimus Prime. You're going to have two deluxes, and that is going to be Barricade and Bumblebee. And of course, they're going to be mixed in with the Rise of the Beast stuff, and then the Studio Series 86 stuff, and, any other movies that they do for the live action films. But I think they do look pretty cool. Taking a good look at Optimus here, he's thick. And that kind of goes in line with his appearance in the game. Now, if you're not familiar with the War for Cybertron game, because you're probably going to be confused if you only know War for Cybertron as in the trilogy that Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom came from, the War for Cybertron game and its sequel, Fall of Cybertron, actually fall into what is called the aligned continuity. Now, you may not completely agree with this, but Hasbro intended for them to try and merge everything into one continuity at the time. Transformers Prime was to be their centerpiece. The two video games were to be the prequel. Of course, there were supposed to be expanded comic books to explain where the Dinobots were and where some of the other characters were. And then you had the Exodus novels, which, kind of tell their own version of the two video games, and also try to expand a little bit, since after the Prime cartoon came out, they had to try and write their way into telling you what happened to certain characters, which sometimes works, doesn't work. And then, of course, the sequel to Prime is Robots in Disguise 2015, and the two Rescue Bots cartoons, which do intermingle with the Robots in Disguise cartoon. Well, here you have Optimus in his pre-Earth mode, and I gotta say, he looks great. I actually like this design for a pre-Earth Optimus probably best of all. You had the Dreamwave War Within design, which was very big, very stocky. They actually made a figure for it for Titanium series. But this look for Optimus captures his character. He's got the red, he's got the blue, that classic helmet design, the way the chest design is as well, because it was very different in War for Cybertron. War for Cybertron was very much like the G1 bot with a weird Cybertronian truck. Dreamwave War Within was like this big stocky looking, like tank looking vehicle, which didn't look right to me, in my opinion. At least I never cared for that look for him specifically. But as far as this figure is concerned, the only problem I have here is the thighs, and that is that they're hollow. And I'm sure anybody who gets this figure is going to quickly make a 3D print in order to fill that, because just that to me is like one spot where I'm like, man, this just does not look right in any position that you put that in to, you know, for a figure like this. But his weapons are pretty cool. He has his axe. He has his arm blaster. Now, the thing is about his ion blaster here, it's not like the Generation 1 rifle that he holds, which I prefer. It kind of, the way that Transformers Prime did it is like his whole arm folded in and then the cannon kind of folded out in a way. And that's how they also did it in the Cybertron games. It looks, it was a good design because it was a big giant cannon. Much better, I think, than the way that they're doing it in Rise of the Beasts. But this cannon does look really cool. And I love the fact that he's got that big, handheld axe there as well. He does have the Matrix in his chest. So I'm sure the Matrix is probably removable. The chest does open up, which I never expected them to do. But the story in the games is how he gets the Matrix within that continuity, and how he goes to the core of Cybertron to purge it, and then he's given the Matrix. So he becomes Optimus Prime at that point, once he actually receives the Matrix of Leadership. And his vehicle mode in and of itself, again, also, I like this vehicle for a pre-Earth Optimus for a lot of reasons. It's very much a Cybertronian truck, invokes that same appearance as he originally had, but I do think that the War Within with that big honky trailer that he had after he had gotten the Matrix of Leadership was cool, so it kind of feels like it's missing a little bit, but I'm still cool with it. I do like this design for a truck cab. His appearance in the Marvel Comics, he kind of turned into like a little weapons platform that had a cannon that stuck out. So what is kind of cool is that he can carry his weapons here on top of his truck mode, and could act in a very similar fashion to that Generation 1 design that he had in the Marvel Comics, where his vehicle mode had the cannons there on the top to be able to fire on Decepticons. I do like this design overall. Bumblebee, on the other hand, is one where I feel that I'm like, this could have been a lot better. I like the helmet design. Like, the helmet design has that Generation 1 look. I like the lines on him and everything, where they put the wheels. The legs are a little bit lanky, and that chest is just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right in the way that it folds up there. And I wish that maybe it folded in a little bit more so that it didn't stick out so much. I think that's probably what I'm looking at when I'm thinking about this version of Bumblebee. But then again, if you look at Generation 1, the animation model and the way that the hood of the car, not the hood of the car, the roof of the car was basically his chest. This is, kind of more in line with that Transformers Prime and live action, where the front of the car becomes his chest, but it doesn't necessarily look as good on Bumblebee overall. His weapons, of course, he has his sword, he has his blaster, and they look serviceable enough, at least for me. The vehicle mode, I like the vehicle mode. It's weird because it's like, I don't like the robot mode, but the vehicle mode looks great. And it does look good in this mode. It's a good cross between like that Generation 1 flying saucer, the Origins figure that they had come out with, and it actually kind of looks very similar to the Bumblebee of, the Bumblebee movie, where he had the blasters that kind of came out in a certain way. Like, I think that they were actually going for this design for Bumblebee in vehicle mode. So yeah, I think it looks good in that respect. I like the vehicle mode a lot more than the robot mode, and I'm sure some people are going to say, oh no, I like that a lot better, and that's perfectly fine. But the one that I think is the best of them all out of the three is definitely Barricade. Barricade looks fantastic. Now, if you're familiar with character Barricade, I did do a retrospective of him. There was a Generation 1 Micromaster, but he got his most famous design specifically out of the live action films, and it seems that they were trying to cross them, the two of them together, try to give us this new design for Barricade, and I think it works. He has a pretty cool looking helmet. He kind of reminds me of Motormaster in a way. with his color scheme. And, you know, like I said, I think that it works. It probably is the strongest of the three of them. And his weapons, of course, he has his blaster. His vehicle mode is also very different because it's a Cybertronian car. And it's not a police car, so to speak, you know, as you would expect. But I think that this, as a Cybertronian vehicle, works better for Barricade than his Siege figure. Now, I have customized my, you know, a smoke screen in order to try to make my own Earthrise one since I missed out on the 2-pack. And I like that Barricade as an Earth mode. But to me, this works great as a Cybertronian Barricade, much better than the Siege figure did. And I think it looks fantastic. And without the blaster there on the roof, you know, you can see like how much detail he has there. It's a really sleek looking car. Overall, I think it, you know, it's probably, like I said, it's the strongest of the three. But overall, I'm happy to see that they're expanding the Studio Series line, in a way. But then again, I know some people are not going to like the fact that, hey, the Studio Series line was supposed to be about the movies, and they're now expanding into gaming. I don't necessarily like this, and I know some people are going to have that opinion, and it's understandable. But out of these figures, I think that they're great for anybody who's been a fan of the War and Fall for Cybertron games. You know, Barricade is on my must-get list overall. You know, and Optimus and Bumblebee, not necessarily something that I'm going for, but I'm sure some people are going to be like, yeah, I played those games like crazy. I've been waiting for a new version of those figures to come out forever. I'm definitely getting them. I want to know what you guys think about this. Are you excited about the Gamer Edition for the War and Fall for Cybertron games? And do you think maybe that we might get something more like the Seekers or Megatron or anybody else? Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I have many more Transformers news, retrospectives, discussions, and more coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for all that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.